it's Ms. Hines. Welcome to week 6 of remote drama. We are going to begin by warming up our actor tools. So today we are going to warm up our body and our voices together, and we're going to do a warm-up called the Mighty King. All right, so you're going to start marching, and you're going to repeat after me. There was a mighty king. He had 2,000 men. He marched them up the hill, and he marched them down again. And when you're up, you're up. And when you're down, you're down. And when you're only halfway up, you're neither up nor down. Okay, now we're going to try it a little bit faster. This time, try and do it with me instead of repeating. There was a mighty king. He had 10,000 men. He marched them up the hill, and then he marched them down again. And when you're up, you're up. And when you're down, you're down. And when you're only halfway up, you're neither up nor down. Okay, we're going to do it again a little bit faster. There was a mighty king. He had 10,000 men. He marched them up the hill, and then he marched them down again. When you're up, you're up. And when you're down, you're down. And when you're only halfway up, you're neither up nor down. All right, good. I don't know about you, but I feel warmed up. So that warmed up our voice and our body. And for warming up our imagination today, I want you to imagine that you are starring in a Disney Channel TV show. I want you to think about what that might feel like, what show it might be. And if you've ever wanted to do this, you've ever wanted to be on TV or in a movie, then today's lesson is for you. Because today is all about auditioning. And if you've ever seen a star, a child star, in a Disney show, in a movie, that all started with an audition. And today we are going to talk about how to audition. And so if you do want to, say, be in a movie or a TV show, you need to have a talent agent. And the talent agent always requires you to do an audition. So I'm going to talk to you today about what that audition might look like. And we are going to practice using a commercial to audition. So the first thing for an audition is that you're going to do what's called a slate. A slate is like the very beginning before you do the commercial. It's where you like introduce yourself. So a slate will say your name, and you'll say it slowly and clearly, and the slate will also say what you are auditioning for. So mine might be this. Hi, my name is Miss Hines, and I'm auditioning for the 7-Eleven commercial. Okay, so for your slate, you want to speak loudly. You don't want to yell or scream, and you don't even want to use as loud of a voice as you would use normally on stage because the camera is going to pick up your voice. But you do want to be loud enough so that you can be heard. You want to enunciate. Enunciate means that you are going to speak all of your words really clearly. You don't want to over-enunciate, or that'll sound silly, right? So you want to sound normal, but you want to make sure that you don't mumble at all and that the director can hear all of your words. Because virtually, for a commercial, you're going to be selling a product. You don't want to go too fast or too slow. And you want to smile. And you want to be in what's called actor neutral. Now, actor neutral feels kind of unnatural. It's with your hands at your side, your feet are straight, and you're looking straight at the camera, and you're not putting your hands in your pockets, you're not slouching, you're not holding your hands. It feels kind of funny and doesn't always feel the most natural, but this is a really good stance because then they're just listening to what you're saying instead of watching what your body is doing. So go ahead and practice your slate with your name and which commercial you're doing. You want to practice that several times. It feels really easy, but the more times you practice it, the more natural it's going to sound. Remember, your slate is your very first impression that a director is going to see. So you want that to be polished and you want it to be perfect. Okay, so then at the commercial audition, there are going to be one of two options. Number one, they gave you a sample of the commercial ahead of time, and you could have practiced that at home, and hopefully you memorized it. Or they hand it to you right there, and that's what's called a cold reading. Cold readings are harder than having the script ahead of time. Sometimes having the script ahead of time, you have to do a little bit more work, but a cold reading can really make you nervous because you might not know how to pronounce all the words. You might do better if you had a little more practice. So those are the two options for an audition. So if you already have the commercial and it was memorized, then you don't want to use your script. Don't even bring it up with you. Put it down, leave it with one of your parents, and just do it from memory. Because if it's there, you're going to want to look down on it at the script, even if you don't need it. And you really want the camera to see your face. If you make a mistake, don't worry about it and just keep going. You can try and cover it up. The director might ask you to start again, but if the director doesn't, just keep going and pretend it didn't happen. Don't let it fluster you and get you all worried. Just keep going, it happens. The director may give you a different way to do it. It doesn't mean that the director didn't like you or didn't like how you did it. They just might want to see if you take direction well. They might want to see it a different way. So whatever it is, really listen to what the director said and then try that style. Okay, with a cold reading, like I said, it's a little more challenging to do a cold reading. But you want to make sure your script is held under your face. You don't want to cover up your face at all, or they won't see you. And don't change the script at all. Do it exactly as it's written. Try your best to memorize what you can. Try and look at the camera the best you can instead of just looking down at your script. And even though it might be one of the first times you ever read it, use a lot of energy and become a good character. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about for both memorized or cold readings. You want to find a tone. Maybe you want to make it funny. You may be natural, silly, etc. You want to become a character. Think of somebody other than yourself and really act it out. Commercials are short, but really think that you're somebody other than you. Even if you use your own name, think of yourself as somebody different and it'll be easier. Rehearse it out loud. Sometimes they might give you a few minutes before the commercial. Go to a wall and turn to the wall and just talk to the wall and practice it. You might feel silly, but if you speak it out loud a few times, you're going to do better than if it's the very first time you said it out loud to the camera. If it's possible, if you could go to a bathroom, do your commercial in front of the mirror. That's a great way because you can see what you look like. You can think, oh, that looked good, or oh, I didn't like that, or that made my face look silly. So if you can find a mirror or you bring a mirror with you, practice in front of a mirror so you really can see what it looks like. And try different things. Try some movement. Try an accent, a different character. Maybe do 2 or 3 different ways. And when you audition, tell the director that you have 3 or 4 different styles and could you do all of them? They might say yes, they might say no. If they say no, pick the one you like the best and feel the best at and just do that one. If you can, bring a prop. One of the commercials that I'm giving you this week to practice is for lip gloss. So maybe you just have a little tube of lip gloss. And if you do have a prop, make sure you hold it out. Make sure the camera can see the words on it because remember, you're selling the product and you want the buyer to see what it is. You want to hold it up so it is seen. You don't want to kind of hide it so that you're really selling that product. So I am going to do an example of a commercial for you. Now mine is pretty much a cold reading. I've read it over a few times. I don't have it memorized, so you are going to see me looking down at my script a little bit. I'm going to do one that I'm not offering to you. In your Google Docs, you will have several choices of commercials to do, so pick one of those. I decided to just pick a different one, just to have a little variety. Okay, so I'm going to start with my slate, and you should too, and then I'm going to go right into my commercial. Okay. Hi, my name is Miss Hines, and today I'm going to be auditioning for the 7-Eleven commercial. So it's 2 a.m. You're starving. Nothing in the fridge. You look in the cupboards. There's only dog biscuits there. You could cook, but last time you cooked, you started a fire. So what to do? Ah, I know. 7-Eleven. There's gotta be one near you, right? There's one at every corner. 7-Eleven. They have everything from hot dogs to nachos to burgers. 7-Eleven. There's got to be one in your neighborhood. Think of it as your own personal walk-in kitchen. Thank you. Okay, a couple things I wanted to talk about that I thought of while I was doing my commercial is whenever you say the name of the product, now my product was a whole store, so 7-Eleven. You really want to punch that because that's what you want your audience to hear and the director to hear, because that's what you're trying to sell. So kind of slow down, maybe a little more volume, not incredibly. Notice I didn't go 7-Eleven like screaming it, but you really want to give it a little extra punch so that the audience really pays attention to whatever it is that you're selling. The other thing is at the end, to smile and say thank you and just kind of bow your head. You may have noticed that in between the slate and the commercial, I kind of took a second or two, just kind of composed myself. I think maybe I looked down. Feel free to do that, but have a transition between where you do your slate and where you do your commercial. Okay, so I hope that this week you have fun trying out auditioning and doing some commercials. If you want, feel free to make some products for some of these commercials. That could be a fun thing to do. You could make signs to go in the background. You could hold up a sign. So I hope that you have fun this week auditioning for commercials. And like always, if you could make a Flipgrid video or send me a video or come to my office hours, I would love to see some of your commercials. So have a great week. Bye.